And welcome back, and welcome back, and welcome to the K-Files. We have this morning JP, of course. Good morning, JP.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have Captain Jeff Sherrod with us this morning to talk to us about Nash County cases. We appreciate him coming. Always comes. He's come a week early this time because he, I think, will be on assignment next week. But what's going on?
Nothing, just been a busy week. Last Thursday was
Woo!
very tough.
Y'all had a day.
We did. I started out about 7:30 that morning, and I think I got home around 11:30 that night.
Wow.
That was a real tough day for us, and unfortunately, it continued into Friday, and then it actually went into Sunday for us.
Wow.
We started out Thursday morning with a home invasion outside of Spring Hope.
Yes.
And then our deputy confronted a guy, and the suspect confronted our deputy. Our deputy ended up firing one round and hitting him. We handled that situation. Of course, protocol is for the SBI to come in and investigate that.
Sure.
So we took care of that, and then around lunchtime, we had a wellness check outside of the 9,000 block of Lyles Road. And deputies got there and discovered a subject had been what appeared to be beaten to death, and then we've handled that situation and made an arrest in that case. Friday morning, when our deputies was involved in a wreck, and then Saturday morning when our canines thought that he should have a free weekend too, so he escaped his pen, and
Yes.
we didn't find him till several hours later and had to take him to the vet. So
Well, I noticed he had to go to the vet. Is he okay?
he is okay. He's at home. I think he was dehydrated and had a couple of like small injuries where he was running through the woods and stuff like that. But
Right.
he's okay. And
He should have learned a
good.
lesson by now.
Well, luckily we found him. It took several hours for us to get lucky and find him, and luckily we were able to find him and get him to the vet, and he's gonna be okay.
So he's going to be able to be a canine
He's
again.
going back to be a canine.
Very good.
He's-
Very good.
He's gonna get put on probation for trying to sneak out though.
We need to. I love to have the dogs down here. We need to bring him down here, and yes, kind of have a little talk with him on the air.
Yes.
But anyway, we would love to let him pay a visit. So on our K-File show, that would be cool, wouldn't it, JP?
It would be neat.
To
It
have
would
one of
be
the
neat.
canines come in and visit with
Well, I'll
us.
see if I can arrange one on one of my Thursdays to come up here.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, so some cases.
Nothing new with any of our cold cases. I know last week y'all talked a little bit about Roger Askew, Kojak.
Yes.
So I was going to bring that up this morning. We call him Kojak. His name, of course, is Roger Wade Askew. It's a Franklin County case, but he went missing in September 2009. You always hear that saying, I could throw a rock and hit the county sign.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is literally true with Kojak's case. Kojak probably lived 50 feet into Franklin County
Wow.
from the Nash County line. So when he went missing, Nash County and Franklin County did a joint investigation to try to find him. We worked several interviews with them, and we did several searches with them at the time he went missing. Since 2009, we have done several other interviews with them, several other searches. I've actually sit in on some interviews myself, and we've actually done some searches with them. And I know that Franklin County has got one investigator that still periodically looks at this case on a regular basis, trying to get any kind of leads. As y'all said last week on the air, Kojak's case came to light a little more when we made the arrest of Kimberly Hancock for killing her sister-in-law, Debbie Deans. And for those that may be watching for the first time, Kimberly Hancock is the sister to Kojak, or Roger Askew, stepsister.
Right.
And so since we made the arrest in that case, there's been tons of speculation that she may be involved, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. And that show was very thorough, very good, well done program.
Thank you.
Too, about it.
They did good. I thought they did good. We talked a little bit about it before. but they had to put a little Hollywood into it to make it better than, I guess.
Sure.
Make it interesting, I guess,
Yes,
is a good
they
word.
want people to watch.
Right, but they ended up doing a great job on how that case developed and how we were able to solve that case, and ended up Kimberly taking a plea in court and going to prison for several years. But and if you didn't watch it, please go back and watch it. You can still go online and watch it. And I think it was a good show, and it highlighted the case very well.
For anybody that wanted to pull it up and watch it on demand, how could they find it?
You can go to the Oxygen Network, type in the TV show Snapped, and then put in Kimberly Hancock, and it'll pull it right up.
Okay.
But it just, I'm glad that case happened, because it brought a lot of attention to Kojak's case, and we need to find Kojak as well.
Absolutely.
His family, they've always had an interest in the case. They've always called either us or Franklin County periodically since 2009. But when that developed, they got more interested in it, because like I said, speculation is that she may have something to do with it. But it would be great for Franklin County to be able to find him, and to be able to give that family some closure like we did in the Deborah Dean's case.
Absolutely. And if anybody knows anything, we will pay you for your tips, and they will be anonymous. We have up to $15,000 in the kitty that we can pay you for an arrest, and it doesn't have to go through the court or anything. It is upon arrest, not conviction. So if anybody knows anything, you really need to come forward, and let's solve this case for Franklin County and Nash County, because they've been involved in the whole ball of wax. So anyway, so other cases, you have Randy Colgrove.
Still working Randy Colgrove. Nothing new in that. Still nothing new in Letitia McNair, and still nothing new in Malik Armstrong cases that we have. Love for a tip to come through in those cases, but just right now nothing's developed for us to be able to expand our investigation further than it's gone right now.
Right.
I had a few texts this morning from different people. Can you elaborate on anything, or were y'all involved in anything yesterday in Gold Rock that you can share?
We went because one of the victims actually drove to a business outside of the city limits of Rocky Mount.
Right.
We didn't get involved in the whole situation, so I don't know the whole situation. I just know that there was a convenience store inside of Gold Rock city limits, which is Rocky Mount basically, and 2 or 3 people got injured. One of them drove to the Cheesecake Factory where we responded to, but once we were quickly able to determine that it was all part of the shooting, so Rocky Mount came and took over everything and handled everything for us.
Do you think it was like one big incident, not 2 separate?
Yes, I think it was one big incident.
Okay.
I'm sure I know there wasn't a shooting at the
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, I've got some texts too last night and this morning that I noticed a while ago that said, what happened at the Cheesecake Factory? Somebody shot at the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
No, the Cheesecake Factory had nothing to do, or any of its employees, I don't believe, to do with this. This is just, like you said, where they drove to.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, they drove from that store right there on the, I would say you call it the Whitaker side of Gold Rock, because it was on the other side of NC 4, and they just happened to end up driving over there and getting some help. So.
Well, now, I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, and I don't know if the sheriff's had a chance to see it, but like the Arp family, they have been on Facebook, and they have really sent praises to the sheriff, to his staff, to first responders, to everybody who helped work that case. They have really praised the sheriff's department since last week.
I have not seen it, and it's funny you bring that up, but I grew up with that family. Charles, who is the victim, had a sister named Linda, a brother named Kevin, and then me and my 4 brothers and sisters, we all grew up in the church called White Oak Hill Church, which is like 3 miles down the road, and we all grew up in that church, and I didn't realize it until late Thursday that was the family I was dealing with.
I went to Edwards Incorporated's Facebook page last night. I went back 10, 12 years in Facebook posts. They have never really shared an obituary or a death announcement of an employee that I could see. I went to the very beginning of their Facebook activity, and they have shared Charles's obituary. He had been an employee there almost 50 years.
Man.
Wow.
Almost 50 years at Edwards.
Wow. Well,
Good
then
guy.
you have to post
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, Charles was a
Wow.
good guy.
What was
Yep.
his last name?
Charles Art,
Oh,
EARP.
Okay, I did not know him, but I'm sorry to hear it. Okay, well, Captain,
Yes, ma'am.
until next time, we appreciate all the info,
Not a problem.
and we will see you the 1st of July.
July.
Be
Golly.
here before you know it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with more of the K-Files right after this. And welcome back. Okay, well, we have got some news that I would like for us to share. It's kind of pertaining to what we do, but my phone has been acting up this morning. So here we go. Just a news story that we will share.
It's been a very busy week
It
news-wise.
has. I mean, you know,
Lots
at
of
first
things
it
happening.
started out, it wasn't, and you know, sometimes it's so dry, it's hard for us to find things, you know, topics,
Mhm.
because there's nothing happening in the news. Of course, we don't want anything bad to happen, but sometimes we say, well, you know, we need some news, good or bad.
And this is one reason I always get on here and beat the drum of, you know, Nash County Sheriff's Office needs resources, Nash County EMS needs resources, because you don't have the luxury of knowing when you're going to need them.
Right.
I believe the sheriff made the comment last Thursday. I believe they only had 4 deputies working because of staffing issues.
Yeah, here we
And
go.
here you had a home invasion, an officer-involved shooting, a homicide, a manhunt. The suspect was on the run, and 4 deputies.
Right.
This just goes to prove yet again why the county commissioners need to step up and fund the sheriff's office with the resources that it needs, because things like this are going to only continue to happen and be
Right.
more and more common. More and more common.
Right.
Now, you
You're
stop
right.
and think, if you needed law enforcement at your home while this was going on, they didn't have anyone to send you,
Wow.
because it was all hands on deck in southern Nash County.
Not good.
Did you find your story?
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
did. It just keeps, my phone is acting up. I don't know. It just went away again. I don't know. But anyway, I think I've got it. You know, you're wondering why I'm talking about Fuquay Varina. Well, it has a definite tie-in to Nash County. So, the town of Fuquay Varina announces today, and this was yesterday, that Brandon Medina, you know, he went to Fuquay Varina to be the police chief, is retiring as police chief effective immediately. Captain Tim Smith has been appointed as the town's acting police chief, a role he previously held in 2022. He has more than 23 years of experience with the town of Fuquay Varina, is a veteran of the U.S. Army, and holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Ashworth College. He also holds intermediate and advanced law enforcement certificates from the North Carolina Criminal Justice Education and Training Standards Commission. I mean, it sounds like he is, I won't read all that. It goes on. It sounds like he's very qualified. Why wasn't he the police chief years ago? But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but looks like a nice gentleman. So anyway, apparently, just, you know, effective immediately, Chief Brandon Medina, who was a Nash County, who was the chief deputy,
The number 2 man at Nash County Sheriff's Office.
number 2 man, went to be the police chief in Fuquay Varina, and been there 2 years. He had been there 2 years, and he
Great guy. Great
yes,
guy. Love
really
him
good.
to death.
Yes, really good guy.
Few quays lost is all I have to say.
That's exactly right. So anyway, we'll see what he has in store, what he'll do next, but I'm sure it will be something with his experience. So anyway, just wanted to make that announcement this morning that he is no longer the police chief. And it goes on to say that, I'll tell you a couple more things. Another story, there's another story on another, the town, it said, the town said Captain Tim Smith has been appointed as of 3:30 p.m. yesterday. Captain Smith has more than, well, we've already read that. This is another news article. Let's see. They reached out to former Chief Medina and the town of Fuquay-Varina with this news agency and had not heard back. So there's really not much more to tell other than he vacated the position, retired, and he can retire. I think when he went there, he told to me he had 2.5 years left to retire. And of course, he'll go on to do something else like they all do, but I think his time for retirement is here. So,
and you know what? I saw it on the news last night. I mean, they were short, sweet, and to the point that,
yes.
you know, like he's retiring effective like right now.
But that's a little strange because usually they'll say like it's the end of May, effective July 1.
Yeah.
You know,
30,
something
60,
like
90
that.
day window.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I agree.
Then there's the case. Let's talk about the case of the one more case that's I like to talk about hot and now. The I want everybody to understand that the Cheesecake Factory, with all the text I got what's
some
happened at
too.
the Cheesecake Factory, it's nothing at the Cheesecake Factory, believe me. This was just where the person went, but let's see if I can find, this happened at Gold Rock, this particular, I'm telling you, it's just a lot of things going on. Wow.
It has. It's been a very busy news week.
Yes.
Scrolling, fighting crime. I mean, over the past week, it's like shots fired, Rocky Mount, shots fired, Rocky Mount, shots fired, Rocky. And I'm like, wow, shooting in Gold Rock. Let's see.
Have you got the Gold Rock case?
I do. I believe this is it right here. Yes, this is it.
Okay.
This is from Fighting Crime News and Who's Wanted.
Okay.
14 hours ago. So this is the newest up-to-date information on that. Rocky Mount Police Department investigates an aggravated assault. Rocky Mount, North Carolina, on May 29th, 2024 at approximately 1 o'clock p.m. The Rocky Mount Police Department responded to a reported shooting with injuries at 7730 NC 48, the BP Grab and Go. Within just a few minutes, Rocky Mount Police Department received reports of another shooting, this time at the Cheesecake Factory, located outside the city limits of 6792 Corporation Parkway. It was quickly determined that the victim of the shooting at the Grab and Go drove himself to the Cheesecake Factory and that no actual shooting had taken place at the Cheesecake Factory. 2 people sustained non-life-threatening injuries and were transported to a local medical facility for further treatment. This is an active, ongoing investigation, and the Criminal Investigative Division and evidence techs were on the scene to determine what led to the shooting. Rocky Mount Police Department is requesting the public's assistance. Anyone with information, please call the Rocky Mount Police Department at 252-972-1411.
So they don't know who done it at this point.
That's right.
So that's why it's so important for us to do our hot and now. folks, if anybody knows anything about this shooter, please come forward. I know somebody knows something. People talk. You might have even been an accomplice. So please
Share what you know.
Share, yes. If you hear something, say something. Know something, say something. $15,000 is in the pot. So up to $15,000 you can get for a tip if there's an arrest. So let's get this case solved. Alrighty. Now I guess we will go over to our older cold cases. Are we still in missing persons? I think so, aren't we?
Yes, I had, I'm tabbed on the Roger Wade Askew page. I know we talked about Jaleesa Reynolds that went missing up in Halifax, from the computer where she had logged in. We talked about Roger Wade out last week and again today. I don't know, did we do Shonda Renee Stansberry?
I believe we didn't because we said we have a lot of information on her and we'd have to do her this week.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of information. That's
wish
not
all
usually
of
the
them.
case.
I
And
wish
I
all of
remember
them
this
were like
case.
this.
We've talked about this case several times. I wish it could be solved.
This case is Shonda Renee Stansberry. Shonda Renee Stansberry. It is from December 9th, 2006. At approximately 6 a.m., 24-year-old Shonda Renee Stansberry arrived at a Waffle House in Roanoke Rapids near I-95, where her sister worked. Shonda appeared to have been beaten with bruises that covered her face and legs, and there was a swollen knot on her temple. Shonda got a ride with a customer who was well known to her and taken to West Side Trailer Court in Roanoke Rapids. Shonda was dropped off and was never heard from again. Shonda's mother filed a missing person report on December 14, 2006 at approximately 10:15 a.m. She was concerned because Shonda would contact her on a daily basis and she had not heard from her in several days. The same day her mother took out the missing person report, a woman contacted 911 at approximately 11:28 p.m. to report that she saw two men chasing a woman who had no clothes on and was screaming for help. The caller advised it was Shonda. She stated that she was being chased behind a convenience store near the woods off Highway 158. Investigators eventually traced the call and located the witness a couple of days later. The witness advised detectives that she was familiar with Shonda and was certain it was her. Again, she advised that she had no clothes on and blood dripping from her mouth and was screaming for help. The witness was scared to stop, so she waited until she got home to call police. The witness described the two men as being black males. The first man was between the ages of 28 and 32 at the time and stood approximately 5 foot 8 inches, had a large muscular build, dark complexion. He was allegedly wearing denim jeans, a white t-shirt, and a baseball cap. It's likely that he may have been bald. The other man was described as having a light complexion, stood approximately 5 foot 6 in height, medium build, dreadlocks. He was said to be wearing Timberland shoes with patches on them and a brown or light brown oversized button-down shirt. Investigators questioned the convenience store employees and they advised they never heard anything. They also investigated the area and found no prints, disturbed brush, or any other evidence that Sandra was there. My thing is this: if this witness was driving by probably 35, 45, 55, 65 miles an hour, That's a lot of details.
She gave a very big, good description.
I mean, right down to tags
the
being
man.
on boots.
Yeah, that's just too. I tell you what, let's take our break, go to weather. Let's talk about this some more.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of details. Okay, well, JP brought us the Sandra Renee Stansberry information, and you know, we were talking. You're retired law enforcement. I mean, something's just not right about the description of this, because I mean, like you said, you're driving by at
You see a woman bloody.
5 mile an hour. I mean,
Did you have a cell phone in 2006? Almost
No.
everybody I know of in 2006 probably
well, yeah,
had a cell phone.
2006,
Okay.
yeah, we probably did have a cell phone in 2006.
And even then, are you going to drive all the way back to your residence? You just saw a woman being chased by two men bloodied. Are you going to drive all the way home before you report it, or are you going to go to the nearest location that you can get pick up your...
Absolutely.
That's oddity number one.
I would have picked up that cell phone in a skinny minute.
That's right.
And called 911. Absolutely.
So that's oddity number one. The other thing is, see, it sounds like to me that they actually looked her up. They found
Yes.
her information, and then they went and confronted her about this anonymous tip, and then she was able to provide all this other additional detailed information.
Absolutely.
The thing that stuck out the most to me was she said that one of them was wearing Timberland shoes with a small tag on it.
Now, how you going to see a really?
That did not happen.
No way. No way. I wouldn't even know about the Timberland boots, let alone the tag.
So if in fact the suspect was wearing Timberland shoes with a tag, that means this witness had to have been up close and personal and have first-hand information about what has really happened.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that law enforcement has thought about this. They've had the same thoughts. But why, evidently this is another one of those cases. I'm sure they have interviewed her thoroughly.
And then you go to the
But what are you
store.
gonna do?
You go to the store where it supposedly happened, and the owner's like, "Yeah, nothing like that's happened here."
Yeah, none
I'm
of
sure
the
they
employees
pulled-
heard anything.
I'm sure they pulled video data. Okay, if she was running around the store, I mean, there should have been some type of evidence left around, prints, witnesses, someone working. Stop and think. If you were working and you saw somebody out here running around bloodied, you're either going to call 911 or you're going to share that information with a coworker. Hey, guess what happened here last night? Okay, none of that happened. I don't think it happened. I don't
No.
think it happened.
I don't think it did either. Wow. Well, anyway, if anybody knows anything about this convoluted case, because there's a lot of details in it, please come forward and let, is it Halifax County?
It's Roanoke Rapids. I just don't know if it's a county case or if it's Roanoke Rapids PD.
Well, it don't matter who you call. You can call the number on the screen. You can call Roanoke Rapids. Well, look at my man back there.
Uh-oh.
Halifax County Crime Stoppers. There you go, right there. There's a hotline number. Call them. Or call the Sheriff's Department, in Halifax, call the Roanoke Rapids Police Department. It doesn't matter. They're going to get it to the right
They will.
investigator.
They will.
So just call. Just make the call. It is anonymous. It is anonymous, folks. You need to make the call and solve this case from 2006. So I think we got time for, well, we've got a few minutes. We can do it. Oh, this one we had Captain Sherrod on earlier, and he certainly has investigated this case to the hilt.
You know, when we had Misty Strickland on a few weeks ago, we just kind of touched on this in conversation, on camera and off. And this is the Travis Lynch case. Travis Lynch. This case is from December 24th, 2003. Travis Lynch was last seen on Christmas Eve 2003. He had been drinking heavily at a friend's house, and he and his girlfriend, Carlisha Whitley, went to the house on Claude Lewis Road in Middlesex so he could sober up. He was last seen driving her home at around 1 a.m., trying to get to his own home on Glendale Drive in Wilson. Lynch was supposed to call Carlisha when he arrived, but he never did. She called his mother to see if he had gotten home. When Travis's family members went to Middlesex to ask about him, they weren't allowed inside. His mother reported him missing on December 26th. He has never been heard from again. His car, a white 1992 Pontiac Grand Am with North Carolina license plate, Robert Zebra Sam 4814, RZS 4814, has never been found. A photo similar to that car has been shared with this summary. Lynch had purchased that vehicle just the day before he went missing, after his previous car was damaged in a crash. 4 months after Lynch disappeared, a mobile home owned by Carlisha's family was destroyed in 2 different fires. The residence, which was on Stony Hill Church Road near Bailey, did not even have electricity at the time. It initially caught fire on April 23, 2004, but didn't completely burn down. A few days later, there was another fire at the home, which destroyed it. The home was occupied by Sean Fonte Whitley at the time of the fires. He was at that time serving time in federal prison for drug charges, but I think he was released around 2021, and I do think he was released. Investigators believe that the fires were suspicious, but stopped short of calling it arson. They think the fires may have been related to Lynch's disappearance. It's uncharacteristic of Lynch to leave without warning. He did have a violent temper. Investigators theorized that he got into a physical altercation with someone that probably resulted in his death. This case remains unsolved. This is probably, down home, the number one case I'm asked about.
Right.
And that is, I've had folks come up to say, what's the latest, what's the newest developments? And I've had folks come up and say, look, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you ain't going to find him.
Right.
There's been rumors in the community that, that he was killed.
Right.
That he was placed in the car and it was crushed.
Right.
And hauled off to God only knows where.
Because you haven't found that car by now, and it was since 2003. If you haven't found that car, it's not there.
I know the FBI is involved. I know they have interviewed a ton of people down in the Middlesex and Bailey area, and people's lips are sealed.
Wow. Well, it's unfortunate that it looks like we don't know if he'll ever be found, but the car or him and the mobile homes that caught on fire, that's just very suspicious to me. That's just no other way about it. No other way about it. So this whole case, I don't know if it will be solved, and I hate to say that, but I just don't know. But if anybody knows anything, it would be good for you to please come forward. Call the number on the screen. We would like to have some information. Law enforcement would really like to have some information. Nash County Sheriff's Office is who is investigating this. So we certainly do hope that somebody will come forward, because this case is, the mother. Did the mother pass away?
The mother
Is still living.
It's my understanding she's still living, and her and Misty talk periodically.
Yes. She's so upset by this. Of course, any mother would be, but this mother just keeps on and on calling the sheriff's department and the investigator and Misty, and just, I would imagine every Christmas here it goes again.
Mhm.
You know, you relive. We talk about that all the time. You just relive it and relive it and relive it. So anyway, I wish somebody would come forth because somebody knows about this case. There is no doubt. More than one person knows about this case.
I agree.
So anyway, okay, that's all for today. Thank you, JP. Thank you for watching the K-Files. You can certainly go to YouTube if you want to share it with someone. You can watch it on Friday night at 7 o'clock, and you can watch on the morning show Thursday mornings at 8 o'clock. Thank you for watching.